we got to play Star Explorer. Now, this is a game where you search the stars and try to find the different constellations. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Robert, can you tell us a little bit more about Star Explorer?
I can, because I looked it up.
Wow.
It's so weird. So this is
happy about it.
I thought it was written in the stars.
2024 release. Board Game Geek rating is 6,001, ranking of 7.4. Plays 1 to 5 people. Plays in about 30 minutes, which is pretty accurate. It's a pretty quick game. Ages 8 and up. Published by Lucrum Studio and Queen Games. Apologize in advance for mispronouncing the name. But I only have a designer. I don't have an artist listed, by Lucas Zatka. MSRP is $39.99, but I found it at... I did find other places selling it, but no major stores. There is, and I've heard of Gamers Guild in Arizona for $29.08 and Atomic Empire for $31.99, but Card House, Miniature Market, Noble Knight, nobody else was selling it yet.
Yeah, I think it was a new release at Origins for Queen. They had a section of like new games piled up there, and this one I think did sell well, and there was another dragon themed one that sold pretty well there.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's get into the quality of components. So you ended up having to make these boards, didn't you? So
because Randy made me.
Well, he didn't like make the cardboard; he just taped them.
Yeah,
yeah.
But he made me put it together.
So they do come out of sheets of cardboard. You do have to fold them to make this device where you just slide it in, and that's the part of the constellation that you'll be looking at drawing at during the different turns. It is all dry erase. We do get some dry erase markers that do actually have erasers, because sometimes
I don't think it's dry erase. I think it's those whatever, not paint.
The chalk markers.
It is the chalk mark. Well,
yeah, they smear a little bit, but they show up really well on that. Or hopefully
it does.
last.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, so, and it does come with an eraser at the bottom. You do have these tiles. They're not linen finish, they're glossy, but glossy kind of matches the star theme, so I'm not mad about that at all. There's not a lot of components. What was the price point on this?
I don't remember what I paid. It wasn't much. It was like $30 or less, I think.
Okay, so, I mean...
It's not bad.
It's a roll and write that you don't actually have to worry about paper refills, so that's great. Well, not roll. Something... flip and write or something. So overall quality of components, I'll give it a 6. It's nothing.
Yeah, I think 6 is about right.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's nothing really to it, but I do like the look of the dry erase board. You know, and it works nicely,
and it kind of feels like how constellations are displayed.
Yeah,
you know, on a star map or something. So
yeah. All right. So moving on to the actual theme. You know, you're trying to find different constellations. Well, you're drawing.
You're given the constellation.
Yeah.
You're just trying to figure out how to fit it on your board.
Yeah. So, but the thing is so like everyone has their own pile of tiles, and for example, we all have different things that we're trying to fit in on our board. And then when you do flip over the tiles, they actually have the pictures of what it's supposed to represent, along with the name of that constellation.
And a grid that shows you how wide and spacious it's going to take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can see easily where you might be able to fit it.
Yeah, so that's definitely helpful. So, you know, talking about theme, it does feel very thematic that you're kind of looking up at the stars and kind of drawing your constellations in. I actually think it feels very,
I'm sure, I mean,
an astronomy class almost.
Well, back in, when these constellations were created, that's almost what they were doing. It was looking up and saying, okay, I kind of see...
That looks like a dog.
Yeah, it looks like a dog, and they kind of imagined it and drew lines connecting them.
Right.
I mean, it's like the cloud gazing that I still do and be like, what is that? So yeah, I don't know. It was a little thematic. I'll probably give it a 6.5. It was cute.
Yeah, it's cute. I kind of like the artwork it's not really there. It's just drawings of the constellation. Now the back of the board, yeah, it's pretty, but you don't play on that though. No. So it's just if you happen to flip it over. I guess a 6 is all right.
Okay, what about you, Randy?
I'm going to go be the high one this time. I'm going to give it a 7 because
I
like first of all, I mean, I like the theme, the overall the stars and the exploration portion of it. Again, Star Explorer is
but you're not in the stars exploring. You're drawing constellations.
Neither are the astronomers
on Earth.
That's what I'm saying. It's
so you're not really
the early
exploring.
astronomers that are looking up at the sky and figuring out this star connects to that star.
If you're exploring, you'd be going into a new part of the forest. That's exploring.
Well, then what would you call it?
Star mapping.
Star map. Okay, fine. Star mapper
Yeah.
then. We'll just have the queen change the name. Go write them.
That'd be great.
Okay, but yeah, I like the way. I mean, it's a very simple game, but it's elegantly designed, and the way they even the assembly of these. I mean, all you're doing is putting a few stickers on, but then it fits perfectly with the dial going.
Yeah, I agree with gameplay, but thematically, it's
I'm sticking with the 7. It's
Okay.
It's a half point higher than you, and
you go, girl.
4 point higher than you because
You do you.
You be you,
That's right.
All right, so let's move on to the rule book.
Brady.
So
I was eating while they were reading.
well, the good news here
I
is
wasn't reading.
the rulebook is 16 pages, but guess what? It's 2 languages, so it's really
What?
8 pages. And you flip it over. If you want to learn French, you could translate it if you really read fast and kept flipping. There's also a German and another language in there as well. But yeah, it's an 8-page rulebook. It doesn't take long to learn it.
No, it was pretty simple.
Yeah, we did have to reach out to my sister for one clarification because she actually got taught it at Origins by the Queen team. So there's a final scoring element that involves the perimeter, and it was hard to say what defined the perimeter, but if you look really close, there's kind of a glow around the stars for the final bonuses. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it makes sense how everything plays out. I didn't do very well doing it, but yeah, easy to understand, poor to execute in my part.
Right.
I think the rulebook does a fine job. I like games that get you into the game quick. It's 8 pages. That's perfect length for this type of game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8. I don't think there's anything outstanding about it. I mean, it's nothing fun to read. There's no history of exploration or anything in here, but
it works.
Yeah, it gets you into the game quick and effective.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So let's move on to the gameplay. So the gameplay is you get the set of tiles. First player is chosen, and that player, I'm going to be first player just to kind of do this demonstration.
And they're randomly dealt, so you don't get to see what's on the other side.
Yeah.
Of them.
So I'm going to choose to do a 5 on here. So one thing to notice on your first turn, you will have a star that will already be placed. It will have a modifier. You get to choose which side that you want. I ended up choosing the blue side for this. And then I'm going to flip over this 5 tile, and it turns out I have to draw this wolf out on here. So everyone's going to have their own. Everything's a little bit different, so that kind of works out. Like I have different constellations than they do, so just kind of keep that in mind. So then I'm going to try to find a spot on my board. Now the key thing is if we are doing round 1, we're going to make sure that 1 and that little arrow matches that arrow. And I could draw that constellation anywhere that is visible to me.
Except you can't
do the North Star.
Right.
So with that being said, so I've got this little V thing going on. I can tell you right now, I do not have room for this as it stands.
Normally it'd be empty.
Yeah, it would be empty at the beginning of the game.
So I'm going to erase one of my constellations. So for this example, all right. So I've got this space up here that I'm going to actually end up using. So I'm going to decide. I'm going to go.
You getting blues?
That's not the point right now.
Well,
it is the point.
Actually, I should shift them down one.
Yeah. So the thing is this each of those, the star you start with and the constellation have a victory point value plus, and it's got a color of star that you're trying to get.
So she's actually going to probably score pretty well because she got quite a few stars.
So then I'm going to draw. So I did the circling of the stars that it's going to match. So now this matches. Now, mind you, you could do this in any rotation as long as it fits on those boards.
You cannot mirror.
But yeah, you can't mirror. Okay, so I've got this up here. So that means, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to score 1 point for my blue. I have 3 blue. So this.
Actually, it's the reverse. You're going to score the current tile.
Okay.
So it'd be 6.
So, because I have 3 blue stars times 2, that is 6.
Then 3.
And then I'm going to do the one on the top tile, that star, it's 1 blue, so I have 3 points there. Now, if I have blue to blue, I only have 1 of those. I will get 3 points because it's the 1 plus 2. So that's 3 points and then times 1. And then for my total round, I would end up with 12 points. So then you would put that in this bucket here. Now, what happens if you can't actually draw it? Okay, so say if I were to turn this over, And I actually cannot put it on my board. Now, here's the thing though. You're going to try to make it work as best as you can, okay? So, for example, with this one, if I had to place this one right here, I could try to do, let's see, try to make this work.
For each star you can't draw,
Yeah.
you would lose in-game scoring.
Right.
Yeah.
So you basically anytime you can't draw a star
Or a
line, you're going to mark off one of these 3-point victory points, and whenever you have left at the end of the game are straight up victory points. So basically, you're losing 3 points for not being able to do that. Now, the one thing to note, it's not a double hit. So if you can't draw the star, that means you can't draw the line. You still only get 1 negative. So it doesn't double hit you that way. And then
in-game scoring.
yeah, so you did the round, you move on, you flip the next tile, and go on and so forth. Now, the end-game scoring has to do with you pull out your board, you'll get a point for each of the ones that you have circled surrounding the North Star. Then you get all the ones that have lines passing this white line here. And then you, for the 3 stars on each side of the board, if you've circled those, you get 3 points per that. So that's actually pretty lucrative
there if you can get to those.
I probably would have placed my first one a little bit differently had I known that. All right, so overall, that's the game. It's actually pretty short and sweet.
Yeah, I think 30 minutes is pretty accurate.
Yeah, it really actually is. I thought it was fine. It didn't overstay its welcome or anything like that. It was a short, cute little game. I don't know if I would remember this enough to pull it out, though.
I think for roll and write's a good intro roll and write.
Yeah, that's maybe
it's not
true.
really a true roll and write, but I mean, the fact is
kind of.
I already want to play it again because I did so poorly this time. Because I now that I understand more of the concepts, I'm like, I want to figure out what's the optimal way to score on this because.
Oh yeah, it's a flip and write. No.
Yeah, well, it's a flip and write, but you're also getting the random luck of what you got dealt in the pile that you don't know. And then, of course, there is some strategy to picking, like if I have a lot of empty space and I'm the one that gets to choose, I might pick the 10 because it might hose my opponent.
Yeah, because the more points, the bigger the
I don't know. I had almost the whole, 2/3 of it not filled, and then you pulled that 10, I could barely fit that sucker in. So, I mean, I thought I had plenty of room. It was lots. So if I was going to do 10, I'd be doing that first because them things are brutal. Yeah, I don't know if I don't feel the urge to play it right away again.
Oh, wow, I do.
I'm glad you do. What about you?
I would definitely play it again. I mean, there's other roll and writes I like a lot better.
But would you actually remember that this exists to go and play it again?
To be honest, if I had to pick this type of game, I would not pick this one to play. But if others picked it, I'd be happy to play it.
I think that's the way. That's the same thing I'm at. If someone's putting it on the table, I'd be like, oh, okay. But I don't think I would remember it enough to go find it.
Hadrian's Wall.
Well, that's
way before
not
this.
a comparison to this.
Oh, I'm just saying, if I had to pick this type of game...
If I've got a 30-minute window to kill, I'm not going to pick Hadrian's Wall.
Well, no, but I wouldn't pick this either. I'd pick something like Bonanza or Colorado or something like that.
No, I'm in the Jonesin mood to play something where I'm drawing a picture onto a board.
Not to be
stars.
30 minutes. I had to relate with stars, and this would be the game.
I'm saying even if I was going to generically say a roll and write, there's not a lot of roll and writes that I enjoy that are those quick ones. I don't like the Welcome to the Neighborhood or whatever.
What's wrong with that?
It just got old. We played it a lot, and then
I like that one
on
with the train one with the small boxes that you got the different colors for. You got the big collection set of all the different sets.
There's an app for it. It's actually...
the Railroad Ink.
Yeah, Railroad Ink. I like that one a lot more.
I do like that one.
Yeah, that one's a good one too. I'm just saying, I don't think this is a bad for that window.
I don't think it's bad either, but like I said, I wouldn't pick it, but I would play it.
Yeah, absolutely. So score it, guys.
I'm a 7.
So better than Catan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what about you?
That's exactly what I was going to give it. I thought you were going to give it a 5 or 6. I think it's a 7.
Okay. I'm a little bit lower. I'm a 6.5.
Okay.
It was okay. It was alright. I'm not mad about it.
So we're not that far apart.
I'm not saying it's better than Catan Cities and Nights. I'm saying it's better than Base Catan.
Okay, well, we needed that clarification. Because if
Cities and Nights is great.
I mean, yes, it's just... you know.
Right. So.
Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully you'll come hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Are we all on the camera or?
Yes, we are. I'll get closer to Rob. Hey, Rob, how are you?
That closer to me?
You were the one that was out of the picture.
I'm out of the picture.
Not anymore. You ready?
And hopefully not for a long time, Randy.
Well, I'm working on it.
That was the assumption.
Yes.
Hello everyone, today we got to play Star Explorer. Now this is a game of where we're going to search the stars and put some constellations into place. But before we get to it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell because
We're going to knock the board over.
That's right.
I was actually doing good.
You were doing good. I'm sorry.
You're so fast.
You're doing well.
Yep.